Well, here we go again then, Elliot.
Welcome, of course, back to the Everyday Life podcast, your loyal, faithful and trustworthy companion for your ears. I've got some reviews here. You ready? Okay, the Everyday Life podcast reminds me of doing the washing up. It's an overwhelmingly large mess that's always cluttering the kitchen and requires a large amount of physical effort to tackle. Like all chores, I have to listen to another podcast to get through this one. The host is alright, but the assistant comes out with some rubbish like the dirty my cups. 4 stars they've given us, so that's good. I've got another one here. The Everyday Life podcast is like that annoying uncle you see at Christmas. You try to avoid him, but he's always there.
Well, I think that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, that's what you've been up to the last couple of weeks, Elliot, isn't it? Since our last one, Summer Banger.
There we go.
Have you had much of a Summer Banger?
It's been alright.
Yeah. But anyway, at the end of our Summer Banger, well, that can link us in today's podcast, couldn't it? Another subject from everyday life. What are we going to be chatting about today?
We're talking about something that happens very often, injuries at work.
Yep, injuries at work. And we have a special guest today as well.
Ooh.
So firstly, welcome David Teasedale, a.k.a. Tease.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. And yourselves?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Fantastic.
We're fantastic. We thought you'd be the perfect guest for our Injuries at Work podcast. We'll chat about that a little bit later with the hospital.
Yep.
What we've both experienced,
We
haven't
have.
we?
Yes.
But basically, workplace injuries, well, they occur frequently with overexertion, slips, trips, falls, and being struck by objects. They're the most common causes, really, and also fatalities. Though less common, they still happen with a notable number occurring in older workers. Now, there was a place I used to work at in Enfield, and I did hear of a fatality. It was before I worked there. A member of staff got squashed by a narrow aisle truck.
Ooh.
Now, this warehouse, they did have very narrow aisles, and these narrow aisle trucks, they obviously go quite high. Evidently, a worker did, unfortunately, get killed. Now, Tees, in your work experience, obviously, you've been offshore for a lot of your career, haven't you? Now, have you seen any injuries? You must have had a few or witnessed some colleagues having various injuries. Is there any you can remember or that stand out, or were you lucky and got away with witnessing it, or any yourself?
Cast the mind back.
Yes, cast your mind back.
To be honest, over probably the best part of a 30-year career in oil and gas and drilling.
Yep.
As anyone knows who's involved in that period between, like, in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Yes, I witnessed and was involved in several incidents, accidents, and occurrences, and some that would make your hair curl.
I can imagine.
Maybe more in depth another day, because over that career, and like, as I say, many people who have been involved in the offshore industry over a certain period of time will have witnessed a crazy amount of incidents, accidents. We're talking a lot of things: fingers, toes, legs, breaks, arms, bumps, trips, falls from height. You name it. I've probably seen it.
Jesus.
And and also saved a few people in the nick of time as well over that period.
Wow.
So maybe a more in-depth one
Yes,
at another time,
definitely.
because I could talk for quite a while on that kind of subject.
And of course, the offshore industry itself has been well documented with like accidents. There's been a couple of films as well, hasn't there? Which I'll have various documentaries. But that sounds amazing. Another story for another time. Amazing.
Got to be careful out there.
Definitely, and your Superman antics at work as well, possibly helping people. But anyway, we're going to go to a quick. Do you fancy hearing a random fact from Elliot?
You know me, I've always got a random fact for you. A workplace injury occurs every 7 seconds, translating to a significant number of injuries annually, around 4.5 million, slightly more in a leap year. Factors could include, in no particular order, fatigue, poor lighting, and hazardous materials or dangerous machinery.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just happens so often at work. I mean, obviously, there's health and safety at work. And
that's another one.
Yeah, and like common sense work and at home, of course, at home as well. But basically, accidents happen, don't they?
And so, another one?
Yeah, we have a few examples. So, Tease, now, do you want to hear a few examples of some accidents that we have had sent in from the general public?
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
See what you think.
Yeah.
See how they compare with the ones that you've witnessed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Elliot's going to kick off with the first one.
We're extremely popular. Tina Knights broke her foot standing on the end of a sofa whilst trying to catch a spider. The sofa tipped and the accident happened. Ouch. She did say that spider lost 8 feet, though, compared to her 1.
Yeah. So obviously I don't think the spider made it.
Rest in peace.
In that unfortunate
And rest
incident.
in peace your foot.
And she broke her foot as well. So obviously, at home, happens so easily, can't they? Sofa obviously tipped. She broke her foot. So obviously a nasty injury there. This one's quite a nasty one. Neil Featherstone, an old school friend of mine, he was working at an airport and he fell down some aeroplane steps.
Ooh.
And he ended up laying on the floor and the passengers were all coming off the plane and basically that plane had just landed and he ended up in hospital with ligament damage to his ankle and needed physio for 6 weeks.
Nasty.
Now that's a nasty one, isn't it? Especially with all the passengers.
Yeah.
Seen as well. That's quite a long layoff, that one, Tease, isn't it? That one, set up for 6 weeks.
Easily done, though. Any ligament damage, sometimes it's worse than a break.
Yes.
The actual treatment and the time that it takes to recover. Sometimes longer than an actual break.
That's right. I'll say, overall in general as well, you're probably quite knowledgeable on these accidents, maybe, and the various ligaments with like your weight training you do and everything like that. So, we could have a bit of an expert in the house tonight, or someone who knows more about injuries at work than we do, instead of having the injuries like I seem to do.
A professional.
Yeah. We've got another one. This one's a good one.
Rob Heyman, aka Bart, hello. He hurt his back at Coleman's in Norwich. He went under a conveyor and damaged nerves and his lower back. He was off for 5 weeks and could hardly walk or stand up straight for 2 weeks. He returned to work on light duties. That's a classic workplace injury. Yeah,
that's a nasty one, isn't it? Obviously, of course, when you do have an injury like that, that's all you can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you do finally return to work.
Light duties.
Probably knowing Bart, making a lot of cuppers.
Rest.
Yeah, resting, hanging around the canteen.
But also you find that people who are maybe not passionate about work, but are work driven, they always go back to work far too early.
That's true. Yes.
That sounds like a pretty serious kind of injury.
Yes.
And only a few weeks, he's back on light duties. The thing is, you go back on light duties and you see someone else struggling or you want to help out and you end up doing more and more and more. Before you know it, you're doing your old job back to normal again, and you're probably not doing yourself any favours in recovery.
That's very true. Yeah,
I've seen it 100 times.
God. People going back too soon.
Working offshore, with broken bones and fingers and casts and all sorts of stuff. This is back in the bad old days.
Yeah.
When nothing, no work, anything stopped for anything, they basically bandage you up, plaster you up, and stick you back out to work. So I've seen it 100 times.
Yes, I can imagine. As you say, going back too early and doing a bit too much can just put you back.
Yeah.
Put you back. Well, we have another one here, and Russell Ray, who we know well, he caused damage to his foot. It was a windy night, down at the playing field. Down at the car park. The gate at the car park basically blew shut on his foot.
Oh, not another gate.
Yes, he just couldn't get his foot out. That was completely rammed shut against his foot. But he managed eventually to scrape it. He literally scraped his foot away from that gate eventually and got into his car. But he had some major foot damage after that.
Horrible.
So, it just happened at any sort of time when you least expect it.
Yeah, anytime, anywhere.
Anytime, anywhere. So, and you've got Just one more, Elliot, haven't you?
Yep, one more. Darren Lowbridge, who works with metal and welding, is always getting cuts and burns, and once crushed his thumb in the brake press machine, which is a machine used for folding steel, and thinks he broke it, but never bothered getting it looked at.
Yeah, well, that sounds a nasty one. You can probably imagine that one, Tease, can't you?
Absolutely, and previous to my drilling offshore career, I used to work in a metal fabrication shop.
Okay, so you know that job well.
As a welder, a fabricator. So, I've seen the old metal press crush a few fingers as well.
Cool.
And also occupational hazard with welding is arc eye. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. When if you get a flash from the welding arc, then it basically removes the skin from your eye.
God.
It's quite horrendous, and it feels like you've had sand thrown in your eye for about a week or so before it. But basically, the skin grows back over your retina. So that's an occupational hazard of the welder, I'm afraid.
Yes, definitely. And like Darren said, all the cuts and bruises that he gets, but I mean, I'm guessing everyone must get them all the time, and you must be constantly aware of all the machinery, obviously. But it's just that little lapse in concentration.
It always
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah, always is.
I mean, you could sort of come in, and you might be thinking about something else. Your mind not quite on the job, and then it happens.
Yeah.
So you've got to be so sort of careful, haven't you? Well, next we're going to move on to. I know you've had a shoulder problem, like you tease.
Yeah.
Which we'll chat about in a minute. And people might be wondering, they might be looking at that photo and thinking, why
what on earth is happening there?
Dave in a hospital bed with his arm in the sling? So, for the listener who doesn't know, shall I tell you what happened?
Yes, please, and thank you. That's sort of why we're here.
Well, basically, my injury, I'll try and keep it brief, probably a couple of weeks ago now. I'm self-employed. Do a bit of gardening, window cleaning, painting. I was cleaning someone's windows. And hello, Joanne and Steve, by the way. Those are the windows I was cleaning. And
site of the crime.
Yeah, I couldn't find the key to get round the side bit, so I decided to climb the gate.
Rookie mistake.
Yes, and it was a metal gate with spikes. I positioned my step ladders one side. I went up to the top carefully. I balanced well and holding onto the wall, and I was nearly over. I put my right foot on a planter with soil in, which is normally so sturdy, and I was so nearly over. And as soon as I put my right foot on that planter, it tipped because it had wheels on it. I didn't know it had wheels in it, and as it tipped, I slipped, and my left arm went up in the air, and it caught the spike from one of the gate rails. And it ripped right into my forearm. And I just remember looking down and thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I could see inside my arm. I was literally holding my arm, obviously swearing. The annoying thing was, literally a few minutes later, the owners came back, Joanne and Steve. They opened the side gate. Neighbours came round with various towels, had my arm elevated, towels round it, them holding it. Eventually, we ended up going to A&E, and it had it strapped up, an X-ray. I waited a few hours, and then eventually I was admitted to Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, which we will chat about later with Tease's hospital experiences. So
I saw the picture for about 3 seconds and hated it for 3 days. Yeah,
it looked like a scene from a horror film, really. You saw that picture, Tease, didn't you? The original one with the tendons hanging out.
I guess the people maybe who are listening to the podcast have seen the picture from hospital bandaged up. But take it from me, you do not want to see the original picture of Dave's arm somewhere near the gate and the spike. You do not want to see that because it's a nightmare scenario.
I think even your mother, Elliot, Donna, she said that she couldn't look at it, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's like something from a horror show.
Yes, it was. It looked like something from a horror show. And I think Facebook did censor it.
Yeah, yes.
You had to click on it, didn't you? If you wanted to see it, you had to click
content.
Sensitive content. So, and immediately, I remember after posting that, within seconds, that picture had been blurred out.
Yeah.
It's amazing how quickly they realise that it's a censorship picture. But yeah, obviously that was very scary at the time.
Yeah.
That was a total shock, looking down and seeing what I'd done to myself. Luckily, there were people around. Luckily, the owners came home quickly, and thanks to Joanne and Steve for taking me to A&E, because evidently I was going quite pale. I was getting very lightheaded. I was losing a lot of blood.
Yeah.
It could have been one hell of a lot worse. But, Tease, your shoulder problem.
This is not an accident.
No.
Or injury. Well, it's an injury, but not an accident. Elective shoulder surgery.
Yes.
So.
And that has been ongoing for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, shoulder injury or pain going back years. Eventually found out what it was, that my shoulder had bone spurs and bits and pieces in it that need to be removed, and inflammation, etc. So a few weeks back, went in for elective surgery to have said bone spurs and inflamed tissue removed, keyhole surgery. One little hole in the front, one little hole in the back of my shoulder, and then basically a wash and clean out of the inside furniture.
Jesus. And you had a reaction to that as well, didn't you?
Well, everything was fine. I had a nerve block in my neck to numb my shoulder and arm, so the surgery could go ahead keyhole. So bizarrely, you can watch everything that's going on at the time, so you can watch them delving into your shoulder and kind of feel the hammer blows as everything's sort of broken away and pulled out, which is quite weird. But everything went okay, but over the next week to 2 weeks, there was like not an infection, but a continuous fluid leak, if you like, from the wound that just would not stop. So after going back, they elected to do a second surgery, which I just went for a consultancy the other day because of that, and they removed another several bits of bone that I think when they say the fluid was trying to eject the waste bone and bits and pieces that was still in there, the consultant actually said there was actually a piece of bone that was literally on the surface under the skin straight away. So he took I think 3 sort of chunky bits of bone and tidied everything up again, and since that surgery everything seems to be healing up quite nicely, a bit better.
That's good, because I remember we was at a little party, weren't we, just a couple of weeks ago, and it was leaking. You had the leakage, didn't you?
Yeah. We had to make a quick exit because everything was pouring out.
Yeah, that must have been quite frightening, really. Was it a bit frightening? Was it a bit scary?
No, it was okay because we'd kind of determined that it wasn't an infection, unlike if we go on to your story again, what happened to you. But it was just a reaction to basically the foreign bodies in my arm, bits of bone and stuff that was still there that either weren't cleaned out properly to start with, or had broken away since like post-op to cause inflammation, and obviously my body wanted to reject that.
True.
So I went back the other day for like a second consultation, and everything seems to be sort of healing up.
Well, that's
much better this time.
That's good news.
Join us next time for more bedtime stories.
Exactly. Excellent. Well,
nightmare bedtime stories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
this podcast won't be sending you to sleep.
No, it won't
but
be.
It might be.
It's far too interesting for that.
That's right. Well, speaking about the hospital, you were admitted as well. You had an operation as well, didn't you?
Yep, I was JPH and you were NNN. Well, initially JPH and then off to NNN.
I was initially JPH,
Go dot compare them.
Yeah, that's right, definitely. And I was waiting quite a few hours after being repaired, after being strapped up, and X-ray, and then it was about 9 p.m. on a Friday night, and they had a look at me. I had the tetanus, I had some antibiotics given to me, had the results of the X-ray. Luckily, I don't think there was any major tendon damage, but they would need stitching tendons together and putting everything back together. What had been ripped out. Luckily, I still had movement in my fingers. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. And basically, 9-10 p.m, I was referred to Norfolk and Norwich. And luckily, Darren gave me a lift to Norfolk and Norwich that night. And funny thing is, I still got my work skill on. I still got work skill on from the day. I still got blood stains over me. So it was a quick rush back here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Grab an overnight bag, a quick change. Now, I got changed into my park run gear for the next morning. Because it would have been your mother's birthday, wasn't it?
Happy birthday!
Yeah. So obviously her birthday
Brilliant
our park
birthday.
run and
Hey.
her trip to Gweston Hall, was it?
Yeah.
Question,
Yeah. We had to cancel because I was in
Shame.
hospital. So I had the op, my first op, on the Saturday morning. Basically, general anaesthetic. And the first time I've ever had one of those, obviously put to sleep, basically.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Now, that was quite scary. I think I sent you all a message saying, if I don't make it, so because that is scary. You just don't know what will happen, do you?
No.
Anything could happen. It's the first time I'd had that.
Yeah.
And you're signing the forms. You're signing the consent forms.
Yeah.
Do you want to be resuscitated, etc. All stuff like that. So it was getting a bit sort of deep.
When they asked me, I mean, we're in our 50s kind of thing, and do you want to be resuscitated? Or I'd like you to have a good go. I'm not quite ready yet to chuck the towel in. I wouldn't mind if you had a go at resuscitating if things went wrong.
At least a few minutes.
Yeah.
What's your favourite yogurt? How do you feel about death?
Exactly. And so that was basically the first stop, and then the second op. I was basically discharged out on Saturday night. So your mother did see a bit of her birthday. Was back for a little bit of that, and then we had the cake and everything. So we had a half decent end of birthday, but I had the cast on my arm and a sling, and I was due to go back on a Thursday, but during that week, it got not badly infected. I remember it was leaking. From the Monday and Tuesday, it was getting worse, and the smell was really bad. I remember on the Wednesday, I was getting a tea towel just put over the sling because the smell was so bad. And obviously, I had to sleep with that as well. Yeah, and it was getting painful. So when I went back on a Thursday, I took an overnight bag with me. I just knew that it wasn't right, and I had the morning appointment. And they said they opened it all up, took all the cast off and everything, and yet they could see I'd got an infection. It had crept up my arm, loads of pus in the wound, and so basically I was admitted. And that evening, that Thursday evening, had second op, flush out all the infection and stitches taken out, and I stayed in till Saturday evening, 2 days later, to have hopefully the final one, which was another clean up and a skin graft. Some skin taken from my left thigh and put on to my forearm, where it was stitched up again. And basically, I went back on Tuesday, a couple of days ago, and it seems to be healing nicely.
Great.
And now I've got just a cast on the underneath of my forearm to stop my fingers moving, so that graft can get the best possible start to heal. And I'll go back next Tuesday, which is the 26th of August, 2025, which hopefully could be the start of physio, and maybe 6 weeks, possibly, to hopeful full recovery.
You've still got the arrow on your arm.
I know. I mean, I only know
just in case they got the wrong one.
Exactly.
I had one as well. I had one on my pointy arrow on my left arm and shoulder, just to make sure. They have to, don't they?
Yes, they do.
You never know who's going to turn up, because the guy that says he's going to operate on you might not be the guy that actually turns up to operate. So
definitely,
yeah.
And you had your 2 operations, didn't you?
I did over with a 2 week spell in between.
Yeah, right. Did you have a block, the nerve block?
I had a nerve block for the first keyhole.
Yeah.
A nerve block in my neck.
Right.
Which is weird because again, it's you can see the needle going in. You can watch it on a screen, and then of course it goes in and then wiggling about a bit, and then bang, it's done. Then over about 20 minutes, your whole shoulder and arm just goes absolutely dead. So that was a bit weird, but kind of preferred to being that was obviously a local, and kind of preferred that to a general. Yeah. But
is that what you had for your second?
I had that for the second one because I had a couple of complications with the local. So I said, they said, do you want another local? I said, yeah, no thanks. I had a big lump left in my neck. I guess where the fluid and stuff or bruising or whatever went in. I ended up with a droopy left eye. Yeah. And a bit of blurred vision in my left eye. Right. So when it came to the second surgery, they said, do you want another block? And I was like, yeah, no thanks. Yeah. What, in the same place? Yeah, no thanks.
No. That was weird, the block, wasn't it? Because you probably know, Elliot, but the 1 and 3, I had general anaesthetic. 2, I had the nerve block.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was strange because I had the nerve block and my left arm out and they were doing their stuff. I didn't look.
Yeah.
I was looking the other way because one of their colleagues, or I think it was a male nurse or someone in the surgery, he was sitting there chatting to me. He said, what would you like to do? He said, do you want to watch it or do you want me to sit here and have a chat? And I said, well, I like a chat. So yeah, if you could sit there, please, we can have a little chat.
That sounds horrible. But why would you want to watch that? No,
I know.
I'll watch them.
Yeah, so
I did watch mine though.
Did you?
It was interesting. It's bizarre that you can't feel anything
can you?
that they're doing.
No.
But you can, when they're like kind of battering away at my arm and they ring with sort of like chisels and pliers and drills and all sorts, trying to get the bone away. And you can feel the pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't feel any pain.
That's
and
right.
You're watching this screen of them shoving things into your arm, trying to break bits of bone off and all that. But yeah, you obviously literally can't feel a thing.
Did you find it took quite a while to get that block going, to get that nerve block?
I think I laid for about half an hour.
Yeah, I thought if you had a choice, what would you go for? General anaesthetic or nerve block? I'd probably go for general because it's so much quicker. Well, I found it quicker. Yeah. You take a few breaths or a few deep breaths, and then I seem to be out.
Well, it takes a second, doesn't it?
The nerve block did seem to take quite a while.
It took. I think mine took about half an hour to take effect, and then of course your arm is dead for nearly another 24 hours. Or mine was. So like you got home and you're like you've got your left arm. You're looking at it as if it's never going to move again.
Exactly. I remember lifting my left arm up. And it just flopped down like that. Yeah. It was like a puppet.
Yeah.
I just couldn't feel nothing.
It's a puppet.
Yeah. Did you have that cold test with the nerve block? They had some sort of cold metal or something. I said, is this colder than this?
Oh, no, never had that. No.
I sort of had that. So one area, they obviously use that as a gauge to tell what area I could feel more than the other. Yeah. And of course, overall, with the hospital, you stayed in for a couple of days, was it? A couple of nights?
First day was like a day surgery.
Yeah.
So I was in, operated on, and out.
Yeah.
I think probably primarily because I had a local, and you can get in and out pretty quick, and I was fairly early during the day.
Yeah.
But the second one was supposed to be a day surgery, but then, of course, I went for general, and it kind of dragged on and went on late into the day and the evening.
So I kept you in.
When I came round after recovery and everything, I think they just said, well, it's at the end of the day, going to keep you in for the night, and rather than sort of try and rush and hurry things, and the consultant has to come round, and that'd be like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they probably weren't available, or they might have someone else who's not involved in it. So, probably safer to keep you in overnight.
So was that your first hospital experience of staying in, of being kept in, or have you been in before?
I have been in before, but also like for, in fact, I had appendicitis.
Right, okay.
So that's there you go, another little drilling story. I got that while I was offshore and was was medically evac'd by helicopter straight to the hospital.
Jesus.
Yeah,
cool.
Because as we know, appendicitis can be a little bit nasty.
Definitely.
So I was flown from the rig back to hospital.
So you had a bit of the experience. Of course, you yourself, Elliot, I know you can't remember, we won't go into that, but you had a little minor thing when you was younger, wasn't you, with like hips or whatever, but you probably can't remember much about that.
No.
Was that a general?
Yeah, well, I was in for a few days, had like hip dysplasia, that was at Norfolk and Norwich.
Okay.
It's a proper like op.
Yeah.
And everything, so I think he was in. I'll quiz your mother on that one. But yeah, you have had experience, but obviously, in your much younger years.
Please don't have any more experience.
No,
I try not
to. Especially injuries.
Yeah, sometimes you come out worse than you go in.
And of course, with staying in, well, it's my first experience of staying in. Always remember the classic gown, what you have to put on.
Yeah.
I put that on the wrong way round.
I mean, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah,
it's probably the most awkward thing to put on. Quite a lot of people put it on the wrong way around, like yourself. Yeah. But then,
how do you do it up? They're basically one arm.
They're expecting you. They just throw it on the bed. Say, put that gown on. Poor old Dave's got one arm.
Yeah.
One arm in a sling, and he's got to get this gown on and do it up and do it up behind your neck.
Yeah. It's just
with one hand,
isn't it?
You're like, come on.
And those surgical socks. I had to wear surgical socks, which help stop blood clots.
That's a fashion statement.
Now, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that last night, didn't I? I was just putting them on. They were hard to get on.
Yeah, with one hand.
Yeah, with one hand. They're
Come
like
on.
these rubber tight socks
Yeah.
to put on that go pretty much up to your knee.
Up to your knee, yeah.
And I remember after the op, because that was a hot day. I think I was off after number 2, and that was last Thursday. It was a really warm day, and I was in hospital bed, and I just took them off. As soon as I got back in the bed, I thought, right, what are these doing? I don't need these. And I remember the nurse saying, "Oh, where are your compression socks?" And I said, "Oh, I've taken them off." She said, "Oh, you're supposed to keep them on." But anyway, you sort of learn about that, don't you? And then of course, when you are in overnight, the classic hospital food.
Yeah.
Did you get any of that classic hospital food?
Well, my first operation, this was another side effect of the local anaesthetic, like the nerve block in my arm. Obviously, I came to and was back in the ward in recovery, and they obviously, to get you going during after the operation, you need to go for a wee, have something to eat, and just have all the blood pressure and everything checked and all that.
Yeah.
So obviously one of the things you've got to tick off is have something to eat. So like, yeah, can I have something to eat? They brought like a cheese sandwich or something it was, like, you know. And then of course I was trying to eat it, but one of the side effects of this nerve block, I realised that literally all the moisture had been sucked from my mouth.
Right.
So it was like eating a dog biscuit, and I just could not chew it and get rid of it. I was like, trying to spit it out. So so that was my first experience this time of a nice little bit of hospital food.
And of course, if you have got an operation, you might not know this, Elliot, but you have like nil by mouth, so you're not supposed to eat anything. So I had basically everyone who was coming to see me, they said, when was the last time you had something to eat?
Yeah.
This was maybe 3 p.m. on the Saturday,
Yeah.
and I had surgery about 5. I said, well, probably about 9 p.m. the previous night.
Yeah.
And, but I remember after the op, I was sort of quite hungry. And of course, I know, you know, they all do a great job, but, you know, you're disturbed over the night, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
Every few hours, they're doing your blood pressure or giving you injections or your cannulas or whatever. I had various antibiotics. So, overall, was quite bruised and battered over 10 days, but hopefully I'm on the road to recovery.
I think, you know,
now.
as well, like, you know, during those night times when you're sleeping overnight, I think they sort of sneakily look to see if you're absolutely out for the count.
Yes.
2 or 3 in the morning, that's when they come round, wake you up.
Do you want a sleeping pill? You said?
Yeah. One of my friends was, when he was in hospital, was actually woken up in the dead of night.
Yeah.
Time to wake up, Mr. Smith. It's time for your sleeping pills. Absolute classic.
Oh, dear.
Usually it's for blood pressure, but I'm sure they make sure that you're absolutely dead to the world.
Yeah.
Then they come round and wake you up.
Cool.
2 in the morning. It's a classic.
You'd have liked the beds, though, Elliot. Did you have one of the remote control beds?
Yes, I did.
I thought they were quite smart.
yeah,
I was messing about with them all the time. You can go up and down. Reclining, you can go forwards, backwards. I'm surprised you didn't have a little mobile thing you could drive around the wards with them.
Probably do a better job than the guys that are pushing the beds, because they seem to hit every obstacle all the way through, through the corridors. Yeah, bang, bang into the doors, running over a few people as you go.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to you and Andrea last night as well, didn't I? I think the guy who was pushing me to the surgery, I did say, would you like me to get out and walk? Because I could have easily walked. But some of the obstacles in the way, it looks so hard to manoeuvre those beds. Yeah. So, but they have to do that, I guess, don't they? Yeah.
Going back to the mattress thing, obviously all the mattresses on the beds now, those air ones that move like independently on their own. They're continually moving to stop people getting bed sores, help them moving and stuff. The air mattress is continually up and down, up and down. So when they came to do my check my blood pressure in the middle of the night, like 2 in the morning or something like that, I'd woken up and I was like, I'm really uncomfortable. What is going on here? Because I used to sleeping on like this air mattress, which is usually pretty comfortable. And all I could feel was the metal bars of the bed and in my back and in my back. So I'm like so uncomfortable. So I said to the nurse, what's going on with this bed? She said, always happens. The porter brings you back from recovery, brings you back into the room, then forgets to plug the bed in. So over a period of a couple of hours, the bed just disappears to nothing, and you end up sleeping on the bed frame. So She mucked around for a few minutes, plugged it back in, and all of a sudden I was inflated again.
Oh, good. Good.
Back to a comfy position.
That bed sounds a bit like your classic Premier Inn door
it's
bed.
always me.
Elliot always seems to get the rough deal. He seems to get
the pull-out one.
The rubbish bed in a Premier Inn that feels like you're sleeping on a door, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why is it always me?
It all seems to be you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But hospital favourite food, I seem to go for the jacket potato with tuna. I did try the chips, beans and fish cake. That was all right. It wasn't too bad. And I had a cheese sandwich as well. And the classic ice cream.
Yeah.
In the tub. But of course, again, I mean, they've so much to do. They're so busy. They do a great job. But me with one hand, obviously a jacket potato, it's literally just plonked in front of you. Yeah. I've got to somehow cut that up.
Yeah.
And you have the orange juice. It's like a tub. And you have to try and peel that off with one hand as well. So it's a bit tough like that, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, obviously I wasn't as incapacitated as you were. I had almost all my functions when I stayed overnight for the second one. But I think I ended up with another cheese sandwich, and they did come around in the morning. I had some toast and a bit of coffee.
That's it. Yeah, toast. Had the breakfast. Yeah, had the toast as well.
That wasn't too bad.
That was a bit hard because obviously you have the marge and the jam and. I held it in those plastic bits, held it in my teeth, and I peeled it. Yeah. And then somehow scraped it out. Yeah. There's bits you can't get out of that marge.
You think they'd give you a little bit of a hand?
Yeah, you try and squeeze it.
It's a shame this is just audio because there's some brilliant miming going on.
Oh, there is.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to have the visuals.
Actually, got trying to squeeze the marge out as
bonus content.
Yeah, definitely. So, and of course, it did make me laugh with like the food orders, even the dinner. They just come around maybe around midday. Yeah. And you don't have your dinner maybe till about 6. So I suppose I have to prepare it, etc. But overall though, and of course your ward, you don't know what ward you're going in. The first ward I went in, I quite enjoyed that. There was a few people around me. We were all chatting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, in the afternoon, I was moved. To another ward. Everyone was really miserable. And so that Thursday with my Op2, that was probably the toughest day because I went there for a routine appointment, although I had a feeling I might be admitted. Yeah. And I was there all day and obviously stayed the night as well. Yeah. And that was a real tough day because I was in pain as well. I waited a long time for the op, that was quite a tough time. But some brilliant hospital experiences there and stories. Yeah. And we could chat to Teaser for hours, can we?
Yeah.
We could literally chat to him for hours about all his work experiences.
You haven't got enough time
I know.
For work-related incidents.
Exactly. This would run out. It would have to be a 10-parter, wouldn't it? Yeah. Definitely have to have a 10-parter. Shall we have a little? Because we all love Elliot's little random facts. So, shall we have another English work random fact?
Can't forget about me here in the corner with my random facts. In England, major hospital accident and emergency departments see an average of 46,200 attendances every day, while minor A&E facilities handle an additional 28,200. Over the past year, this translates to roughly 16.8 million attendances at major A&E and 10 million at minor units.
Well, that's an amazing figure, isn't it? And of course, when you go down A&E now, that time I went down, that room was chocker. Absolutely chocker.
That's like a quarter of the population every year.
That is
in hospital.
That is an amazing stat, really, and it's amazing how many people have accidents, isn't it? Yeah. Not necessarily at work, at home.
No, it could
literally anywhere. Yeah. Unfortunately, obviously, this one was at work, and like a lot of others, but hence the idea of the podcast. But a great stat there, Elliot. Is there anything else you would like to add, Elliot?
Well, sort of talked about it earlier, but the most common cause of workplace injuries are slips, trips and falls. These accidents account for around 30% of all such injuries, so 30% are just being clumsy, really.
Yeah.
And there I was directly quoting from my chest tattoo.
Was it? Oh, right.
Well, the only injuries I have at school are getting hit in the head with a football.
Right, okay. Well, that's not so bad so far, is it?
No, but it always seems to happen.
Yeah. Are you one of these unlucky people where you just in the wrong place at the wrong time and you just get hit by various objects?
So I'm just looking in the sky.
I suppose the worst one could be a cricket ball, though, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'm scared of them.
Do you use the proper one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So it could be, injuries at school, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Injury at school?
Absolutely.
Is there anyone you know? Any pupils you know who have had any bad injuries? What about the javelin for starters? That's got to be dangerous.
Careful procedures there.
Do you still use that? The javelin at school?
Yeah.
So you don't know anyone so far who's had any bad injuries at school?
No, sometimes you see people rocking up to school in a wheelchair or with crutches or something. But
because they've had something at home.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Do you want to hear my memory from a school injury?
Yeah. Okay, yes, please, Tease, yeah. Tell you what, before we do, shall we have a little fanfare before Tease's little school thing, yeah? There we go, Tease.
I'm not sure if that is that exciting, but it's what I remember from school as a horrendous injury, not to myself, to a friend after we'd been swimming, who's decided to muck about on the... Do you remember like the old benches with the coat rack all in one, with like usually had a bit of mesh in between, wooden bench, mesh and coat hooks? Decided to muck about, running around on the benches, slipped and managed to hang himself by the arm through a coat hook. A bit like your arm, Dave, but further up. So through the top of his arm. So So that was probably the worst school accident I've ever seen.
And you actually witnessed that as well?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
So what happened after that? I presume ambulance was called?
Yeah, I think the teacher had to unhook him from the...
Unhook him as well?
from the coat hook.
Christ. Is this anyone's coat?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, had to unhook him and, clean up everything and obviously usher us away pretty quickly from the scene of the crime.
Yeah, I reckon you were probably all exited.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, weren't you?
Pretty quickly, yeah.
God, yeah.
So,
And I bet he was off for a little while.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I can't remember really that much what happened after that, but yeah, I remember that bit, and it's it wasn't pretty.
God. Well, is there anything else, Elliot, you would like to mention?
Not apart from my signature outro. No.
We will do that in a second. Well, first of all, what can we say? David Teasedale, aka Tease. Now, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Out of 5 stars, how would you rate your experience on the podcast?
Oh, that's definitely a 5 out of 5.
And I think the crowd appreciation outside. Here we go. Okay, so come down. You can meet them on the way out. Yeah, look at that. Look at the crowd. That's their appreciation there, Tease.
Get ready to sign lots of stuff as you go out the backstage door.
So definitely, I mean, as we come to the end of this podcast, well, a big thank you to our special guest,
thank you,
David Teasedale. Some great info there. Yeah. Some great experience.
Yeah. From
injuries and what he's seen. And hospital experience, obviously, you heard about my injury at work, which I'm improving on.
Yes.
And you heard some other comments from other people who have had major injuries. And there's so many. So before I hand you over to Elliot, take care in what you're doing. Take care at work and at home. From me and Tease, we will say goodbye and thanks for listening to Everyday Life Podcast.
Quite a traumatic episode there. Well, I hope no one suffered any injuries during that episode, such as headaches, migraines, frayed ankles, broken elbows, bleeding ears, or lower abdominal pain. If you did, do the right thing and tell your GP, which of course stands for Goose Patrol, as we all know. Big in Canada, I believe, but there are lots of geese. DHL is Duck Helpline, NHS No Harming Swans, BBC Big Bird Call, and B&M, which is Birds and More. That's it from me. Join us next time for more content that never gets any better.
Oh, what a classic. Well, we'll see you next time, folks.
Over and out.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.